Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. So, Merry Christmas, it's Christmas Eve and I'm going to celebrate Christmas Eve by replacing the traction tyres on the Jouef SNCF, originally ETA lines, 140C 231. This is actually the 140C 231, but you can see that the actual locomotive number is blank, so that you can actually customize and decide which locomotive you want to have on your layout at the front. But here on the plate on the side of the locomotive it says 140C231, so there's nothing. It's the 140C231. Just a second, let's maybe add a spot of light. We'll go here and add some light. That's a bit better. Okay, very well. We also have the extra lamp up there if we need it. So, this locomotive here, the last time that I was using this locomotive, one of the traction tyres broke and it lost it. In fact, we were doing a presentation video, and I noticed that this was missing. And I found it on the layout. It was on a bend. It had just come off. So I ordered the new ones on eBay. I found them. The seller is Ferroversum. If you want to take notes, Ferroversum. I might even put the link in the description box. Let's see if maybe I intelligently kept the envelope. I can't remember if I kept the envelope. I wanted to maybe show you the envelope. Yes, here it is. So the envelope, I put it in the bin by mistake. This is the seller, Ferroversum, and you find them on eBay. And very quick, speedy delivery by international certified letter. So no risk of losing it. Other sellers send it directly by international letter, accelerated post letter, and which is, I'm going to keep this label anyway. I fished that out of the paper bin. Right. And I had ordered from another seller. I had ordered the traction belts, and for this locomotive and for the 040 TA, SNCF 040 TA locomotive. So we're going to do this job now, and we don't need the tender, but I just took it out for the sake of taking it out. I ordered 4 traction tyres, and I paid very little. I can't remember what I paid. I should have maybe also kept the letter, but I think I tore it up. That was clever, wasn't it? I can write it on the, I've got everything on the, I'll just go on my eBay account and I'll write it in the description box. I threw the invoice away. Okay, right, very well. So, glass of water just to start. Let's check if this thing's recording. Yes, it is. Okay, so to do this, we're going to have to unscrew one of the connection rods to be able to reach the wheels. Of course, I'll change both traction tyres. There's no point in changing only one. This one here is probably very old and very brittle. In fact, you can feel that it's not very... I'm not really... In general, I hang on to I don't change traction tyres. In fact, it's the very first time I changed traction tyres on a locomotive because it broke. Because even I like a bit of wheel slip. And so, even if the traction tyres are a bit old and brittle and they tend to slip, it's not really a problem. So it's but seeing it broke, and of course you can't use it without, because the tyre has got a groove, and in this case here the locomotive was wobbling on the rails. It wasn't working properly, and there's no point in opening it up here, getting rid of this one, and anyway it wouldn't be sitting straight because there's a slot in the tyre for fitting the traction tyre. So we have to put new traction tyres on the locomotive. Okay. So let me get my tweezers so that I can actually take things out of this little plastic bag. And we'll of course use only 2 of them. It's good because I ordered them according to the diameter of the wheels. There are various sizes, so it's a very good eBay. You can find everything, so it's a good. There we go. We'll take a pair out and we'll put these ones here away in the box of spare parts. Or maybe no, I didn't buy them from Ferroversum. Sorry, my mistake. I bought them from a different seller, not from Ferroversum. No, Ferroversum. I bought the drive belts from Ferroversum. So correct that. I'll change that. I'll sort the subtitled video. My mistake. Okay, got confused because I would have liked to buy everything from one seller, but Ferroversum didn't have them. I bought them from a different seller. A seller that I had already worked with before. I think maybe it's yes, perfect, here it is. I bought these from but this is the direct personal address of the seller. I'll put a link in the description box. I bought these from. Okay, right, too much waffling. I'm going to open the nut with this nut slot spanner on this wonderful set of screwdrivers that my dad gave me for Christmas some years ago, and we'll just stick this somehow in the cradle to see what we're doing. Right, we should begin on the side that's actually missing the traction tyre. Righto. So we're just going to go in here and open this up. It's the first time I do this, so not only it's the very first time in my career, I'm going to do it on video. Okay, that's opening nicely, no problems. Right, there's a nut, came out. We don't want to lose that. Whatever we do not want to lose that. So we'll just take a little paint vessel and pop it in there. See if that's in camera. Yes, it is. Okay, we'll just take that, pop it in there, fish it out. Of course, this is everything. These are magnetized, so, and we'll pull this out of the road. Connection rod. Is this going to come? Oh, yep. Okay, perfect. I'll just push this connection rod here up and out of the road. I'll just stick it up there on the running plate. Perfect. No problem. Of course, we'll do them one at a time, screwing them back in. We don't want to go and make any... this can stay like this. Okay, I think that's even closer to the camera so we can see what we're doing. Right, let's take one tyre. I'm going to have to stretch this over the wheels. This is going to be fun. Never done that. Oh, that's fun. And these are the right diameter as well, so let's see if everything's okay. We have to stretch it to spots and get the thing on. Seems to be easier said than done. This is the very first time I've done it. I'm doing this, and I've actually not even watched a video, so I might be a bit of a dummy. Maybe I should have watched a tutorial to see what I'm doing. Whoa, let's see. Let's see if I should just pop in position. I mean, it's just a rubber band. There we go. It's coming. Need bother? Oh, no. Need bother? Need bother? No, no way. Let's stretch it to spot. We have to stretch it. We don't want to break it, of course. I'm stretching it to spots. I was reading on one of the various Facebook groups I'm in. Some people also use thermally, how do you call it? Thermally restrictive. You know, the thermally restricting insulation, or whatever you call it, tubes for this stuff here. Let's see if we can convince this here to get in. Okay, no bother. Oh, we're there. I don't know what you're seeing. I hope you're seeing something. Okay, that was fast. That's in. It's in, but it's not in. We'll have to sort of convince it to go in better. It's not really sitting on the wheel. Okay, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice. Is it in the slot? Let's see if it's in the slot. Well, might be a little bit thicker than the original ones. Of course, now I have to be very careful because I can't turn the wheels. These are also the driving wheels, so I can't turn anything because this is not connected. Unless I do a smart thing and I just stick something in there to make sure that the connection rod doesn't get in the road and get bent, because that would be a very annoying thing to happen. So what we're going to have to do here, we're just going to use a toothpick to sort of push this in to the slot. I think I'll use the back of the tweezers. Make sure that it's well set into the groove. Yep, that's it, it's going in. That's going in nicely. I think that's good. Let's check with my friend the work light. That's okay. I'm going to add that. Oh, that's right beside a USB plug. USB. That's not very clever. That's got a magnet on. We've got a bit of extra light here to see what we're doing. Where is it? The magnifying glass. It's not sitting well there. It's got to go in to get that in to the slot. You going in, my pal? Yes, sir, it's in. I'd say it's in. At the top it came in well because I pulled it in at the top. I caught it here and then it went in. So right, that's in. That's one done. So we'll just screw the connection rod back into place. I see that it's still nicely lubricated since there we go, that's on the collar, perfect. And we'll just take the bolt and pop that back into the thread on the wheel. Right. Okay, let's just pop that in. It's nice and wet with oil because I lubricated these. You always have to lubricate all the linkage, but with micro drops of sewing machine oil, very little on a needle or on a piece of wire, like a thin piece of wire, or using that tool that you've seen me use, the chemistry laboratory needle tool. The one that belonged to my grandfather, who was a chemistry master in Glasgow. That's at Rock Secondary in Gamgad. Okay, I have to say that every time I mention that tool. It's a tradition. My grandfather, he also taught me. He was very good at doing all sorts of jobs. He could fix watches, and he was an absolute perfectionist. He used to rebore his own, I mean, not when I was a kid because he changed car, but on his first car, which was a Morris Oxford Series 2, he actually rebored the engine. He dismantled the engine head and rebored. Not really rebored. He redid the valve seats and everything, and on the engine, on the kitchen table, with the whole engine he rebored. He rebored himself. Yes, he rebored himself because he took the block, and my grandmother carried the head, and he brought the garage was 2 blocks distance, and so they used the old pram to carry the engine block, cast iron engine block. I don't know how he got up 2 flights of stairs, no idea, but he was an absolute perfectionist. So he always taught me to, and one of his expressions is finger tight. So when you screw something, of course this must be a bit more than finger tight, but another one of his is tight but not too tight, because you don't want to damage the thread. That's the main thing. So we're in at the same torque of when we opened it. Of course we don't want this coming unscrewed, because if you connection rod comes off, unscrews and comes off with the locomotive running, it'll get jammed, things will get bent, things will get damaged, and then you'll be in the doghouse, as they say, you know. Let's check that this is okay. That's good, perfect. I would say that's very nice. It's got correct play. Just give it another wee turn. Okay, that's it. Not harder than that. Perfect. So that's that done. Now we'll do the other one. Turn it around. See that all systems are good. Okay, everything's okay, including the usual slippery belt. You can see that it's the other one. This is a new one. This is the old one. This is all nasty and thin. Well, let's see how hard how brittle the old one is now when we get it off. I don't think it'll be any good, considering its mate just came off, so just broke. So what we'll do, let's open that. I hope you can see well what I'm doing here, because it's a bit tricky. I'm sort of limited by my technology. I'll have to get a taller tripod. I'll have to get that digital camera of mine fixed. I'll have a look at it at least to see what I can do. It's pretty tight that, huh? Okay. I was just testing the torque, how tight it was. How tight it had been tightened. How tight it had been tightened. Okay, that's out. Just fish it out with my finger, drop it in there, out the road. You can see, nicely lubricated, everything's nice and oiled. So we'll take this boy here and just fold him over there out of the road. That was even better. In an even better position. Okay, right. I'm just checking to see if you can see what I'm up to. Okay, right, I think you can. Okay, now let's get this traction tyre off. How are we going to do that? With the tweezers, of course. We don't need to bother about it getting damaged. In fact, if that thing actually broke, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's see what we could use. Let's see what we could use. Grandpa's penknife, Sheffield steel. Let's see if we can convince this. This is the old one, huh? I'm not breaking a new one. You can see this is matte, this is all shiny. I'm just sort of snitching this, making a wee cut in it. This way it'll come off. This was my grandfather's, maternal grandfather's penknife. There we go. It broke. Very well. This is made in England. It says John Watt, Sheffield, England. I don't know if you can see that. You can read that. Let's see. Maybe you can. Maybe you can. I don't know. It's glistening in the light. It's shiny. Anyway, Sheffield steel. Okay. Right. That's off. We can just take this. Oh my. It's hard and brittle. Not that bad. It's okay. Okay, but no. The new one's better. Of course, I had to change it. I mean, you can't just leave. Is there any dirt on here? Let's have a look. There's no dirt. There's not particular. Flanges are clean. Everything's okay. Anyway, we're putting a traction tyre on, so we don't really need to bother. We don't need to bother about, you know, getting things cleaned. This is a new traction tyre. We'll pop that. Is that a hair? I think there's a hair in there. That's some hair. Fluff, where did that come from? By the length, I think that's my hair, because it's short. Okay. Righto. It's short and white is mine. Okay, right. Let's put the traction tyre on. We'll just catch it somehow, like how we did it before. We did the same. Just to sit it. And trying not to get in contact with the oily part, the lubricated part here, because we don't want it to slip. In fact, it is a bit. Got a wee bit of oil there on it. We'll wipe that. We don't want to lubricate the thing. Otherwise it defies the purpose of being a traction tyre. Okay, we'll just hold that in position with this, with my finger. Let me check what you're seeing. We're in view, well, as much as possible. What can be obtained with the current technological means. It's somehow like fitting an inner tube. No, not so much like. It's like when you fit a tyre on a bicycle rim and you have to use 3 tyre levers, and then you have to be careful not to pinch the inner tube with the levers when you're going in, and you use talcum powder. I used to use a bicycle a lot when I had good legs. I've got legs now, they're not as good as they used to be, but that's a long story. But I repaired, dismantled many a bicycle tyre and patched them and things, because living here in the northeastern Italy, bicycles are a means of transport up here. So I used to cycle a lot. I used it as a vehicle. And I repaired tyres, patched tyres, had punctures, oh, the whole lot. Then you end up walking home, pushing a bike. Ugh. The other one went in dead easy. This one here's being a bit of a what's it? Are you being a what's it? Are you showing off that you don't want to go on? Yes, you are being a what's it. You what's it? You're a what's it? Okay, we're there. We're nearly there. Okay, we're not. Well, of course, I stretched the other one a wee bit, so let's sort of give this a wee pull just to convince it to cooperate. Right, on you go. Has to be held firmly in position. And I'm convinced to come round. We're nearly there. We're nearly on. We're on. Okay, Bob's your uncle. We're on. Okay, right, same thing. We'll just have to get that in the groove properly. Back into the groove, Madonna. Oh, get in the groove, mister. Okay, let's check. See what you're seeing. I want you to see what I'm doing here. Okay, we're going in. Get it pushed into the groove. That's that in. It's a simple operation. I've never done it. This is the first time I change a traction tyre. Traction tyres on a locomotive. My Lima locomotives, the very old ones, since I was a kid, they've still got their original traction tyres on. The Italian State Railways FS E656 has got its traction tyres on. They're pretty brittle, but as I said, until the break, they're not getting changed. And and the BR39 has one traction tyre only. Now it's got only one traction tyre, and it's still okay, it does the job, and honestly a bit of wheel slip isn't bad. Better wheel slip than a jammed motor. The jammed motor means burning out the motor. Wheel slip is okay. And wheel slip is actually a natural thing on a locomotive. I mean, all locomotives have wheel slip. Right, that's on. At least this side seems to be okay. Let me check with the magnifying glass. It would help if I dusted that. Got a piece of paper here. I should keep this magnifying glass in the drawer because it's all dusty. Okay, I think it's good. That's it, at least at this side it's in. Let's continue. So this locomotive is definitely going to be one of the locomotives that will be running in the upcoming running session, running / filming session we're going to do, because this will have to be, in fact I didn't do I haven't done a proper presentation video of this locomotive. I just did sort of quick one, you know, just talking about it, but we have to do the proper presentation with the plotted history and a nice train, etc, etc. I like these. This is honestly one of my favourite locomotives among the ones I've bought. I mean, I like them all, but I really like this tender locomotive. It's really nice. And as I always say, it's a pity, honestly. Jouef made very nice French, a nice selection of steam locomotives, and it's a pity that Lima never made any Italian steam locomotives. They left that part of the market to Rivarossi, and the thing is that Rivarossi's models were out of scale. I'm talking about all the Rivarossi. They were sort of 180, not 187, so they're not compatible at all. Besides being too shockingly expensive, you know, Rivarossi, Rolls Royce of Italian model trains. Right, let's set that in place. Okay, clipped in, no problem. It's still nice and lubricated, so we don't need to add any extra oil. We'll just take the bolt. That's a real pity, because Lima was the more affordable model train manufacturer here in Italy, and it would have been really nice if they had made even just a couple, you know, of Italian. They made all sorts of British stuff. They worked a lot for the foreign markets, and here in Italy they concentrated on diesel and electric. And then they made steam for the German market, well, even for us here, no problem, because we like railway modelers are not necessarily tied to national trains. I got loads of French stuff and German stuff. You know, it would have been nice to have. There are manufacturers of Italian steam locomotives now. Cost an arm and a leg, so I don't think I'll be getting any. Because I tend to measure the cost of a model, a new model, and I generally compare it to a car repair bill. And I think what's more useful, you know, to spend money on fixing a car than one of the cars, or I don't know, a dentistry bill or something of the kind. And it's not that I don't spend on model trains, but I've always tried to keep, and I tried to look for bargains. And that's it. Bargains are the best. You're going in, that's screwing in, no problem. Let me check that hasn't moved. That's clipped in, very good. This locomotive has a very good pickup system with wiper pickups behind the wheels, really good. The frontmost are actually on top of on the on the flanges. Very nice locomotive. And honestly, if Lima had made something of the kind, in particular Lima, once they started, they dropped, Lima standardized on the G pancake motor. G pancake motor went everywhere, and it wouldn't have fitted in a locomotive like this. It wouldn't even have fitted in the tender because it was too tall for the tender. But once they moved, we're talking about the late 80s, when Lima began using different motors, they could have, times had changed, they could have made a nice, there's an Italian locomotive, I can't remember the series, the GR, the group, but it's practically very similar to this in wheel layout. It's a 280, they could have made one of them, that would have been great. Probably would have cost more in a second-hand market because, it's exclusive to Italy, and very often Italian stuff is more expensive because it's in demand here. But for example, the E424, I paid it a very good price. I think I paid that one €25 because it had broken pantographs. Then I bought the pantographs on eBay, and that was that. And I painted them, and I did it myself, and I was very satisfied, very pleased, and that was good fun. Okay, that's in. Just tighten another spot. We don't want things getting slack. I see everything screwed in nicely, so I'm not going to take chances in tightening things that do not need tightened. Okay, so I think that's good. Let's check if it's all nicely pushed in. What we'll do, I'll just turn these wheels around by, I'm keeping this as a bearing. I want to turn them round the other direction. So let's see what direction we're going in. In fact, there we go. You can see that it's not well pushed in up here. This is still sort of sticking out, so it's not in the groove. We'll pop this in. So it's a pity really Lima didn't make it. Would have honestly been more success, but I'm talking before Lima took over Rivarossi. At that point they took over Rivarossi. The Rivarossi production, at the end of production, Rivarossi switched to proper 187 standard HO because there was a lot of debate in Italy. Modelers were starting to, when model trains, when there was that sort of moment when we passed from toy trains to model trains, there was a big debate about the gauge, the proper gauge, because people were saying, but come on, we can't have Rivarossi material which is in a non-realistic 187 scale. It's not compatible with other because there were other stock. People had mixed collections and things like that on their layouts, and it's a pity. Then they took over Rivarossi, but the prices of Rivarossi always remained. You pay the name. It was quality. Rivarossi was quality. We're talking about the old Rivarossi in 180 scale regarding the Italian market, not the American market. That was 187. I'm always ranting about this. It's terrible. I'm an old man. But it was real quality. Very good mouldings, good motors. Really the Rolls Royce of Italian model trains. But they always paid the cost. And the cost to this day, there are collectors of Rivarossi, the only Rivarossi only stock, and I'm really fascinated. I used to, in my ex room, in my parents' house, I have the Rivarossi catalogue of 1978, and I used to daydream on that. I'd like to see if I can rescue it because I'm going there tomorrow, but I wonder if I'll get in the room. Because my dad uses it as a dump. Oh god, jeez, oh, anyway, that's that. Okay, if I don't remember badly, I had cleaned these wheels because the tender was filthy, and I cleaned the tender after. I remember we maybe did a video, maybe I cleaned them just on my own, and okay, I think that's good to go. I should say so. At least what I can see in the electric light. In all this electric light, I'm having a look with a magnifying glass to see if... Anyway, I would like to rescue the Rivarossi catalogue and the Lima catalogue I have, and maybe we could do a video going through it and have a look at some of the things that were for sale. The Rivarossi one is fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. It's lovely. I remember just sitting there dreaming about what we'd buy, what we'd get. And of course there was never any money for that kind of stuff. Okay, anyway, that's that done. Let's see if everything's good. 9-volt battery. I'm going to do a visual inspection. I'm just going to run this and see if the tires are running, if there's any bumpy bit, lumpy bits in the traction tires. This is exactly what I used to do when I used to change a tire on a bicycle. Same thing. Check if the tire was well pushed in. I think it's good. They're in the groove nicely, no problem. Okay, let's turn it around. Okay, very well. That's very nice. Right, I would say before we shut shop, we get 2 lengths of reel and just run it on the reel. One. Where's his mate? Where are you? Here you are. Okay. We'll just pop the rails down here and see that everything's okay. This is running properly. Pop that on the line. Righto. Okay. Usual spotted belt slip, typical of these Jouef locomotives. Okay, it seems good. It's not wobbly. Okay, let's see if I can stop it. Bang in the middle and right. That's a bit of spot. The usual Jouef. The belt drive's new. I mean, I fitted it on when I bought this locomotive this summer, but when the locomotive's not in use, the belt tends to stretch a bit, and then with use, it's always better, even if you want to do some filming, to warm the belt and run the train. Give it with these belt-driven locomotives, just let them run a bit so that the belt gets the shape and everything, and then after they perform very well. Okay, right. Thanks for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm sorry I'm kind of repetitive when I'm talking about the issue of Lima that never made Italian trains, and they never really pointed on steam. And that's a pity, because Italian steam locomotives are really interesting, and they're somehow similar to French ones. Italian steam locomotives have got something. They're sort of an in-between. In many, from style, they're somewhat similar to French locomotives, but maybe less quirky, less complicated. It's like an Italian car and a French car, you can imagine, no? Imagine a car of the 70s, a Renault 12 and a Fiat 124. The Fiat 124 had cleaner lines. The Renault 12 it's got interesting lines, it's something different, you understand? That's the thing between French design and Italian design. And the Italian design also had more elements in common with German design, because you have to think from a geographical point of view, Italy, it's direct north-south communication between Italy and Germany, which is north of Austria. And so Italy has quite a lot. The connection very often, Italy's links with the German world, the German-speaking world, are in many ways stronger than its links with the French world. And also there are also historical reasons that Italy was dominated by parts of Italy by the French, by the Spanish, by the Austrians and so on. But generally the relation with the Germans was quite good. Okay, so anyway, that's history for you. And we live in a world where geography and history are absolutely bound together, and even in model trains it's the same thing. So anyway, this is a very nice locomotive, and I really like these French trains and German. I like them all. I like them all. And never say never, I might manage to get myself an Italian locomotive sooner or later. It would be a very nice addition to my collection, and go well with those nice Corbellini carriages I have. Okay, but if not, no problem. We'll have the Italian train will be electric. Right, if you liked the video, you can give it a like and subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. And again, I wish you a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you soon. See you soon in next videos. I've got quite a lot of things to do, and maybe these days I've got a bit more free time to do them. So cheerio, and see you next time. Ciao, ciao. Give this a buzz. Yes. Let's see if it works. Wow, the belt drive didn't betray us this time. Belt drive. Crazy idea, but very quiet. You'll see the difference between belt drive and straight and non-belt drive on the next one of the upcoming maintenance videos we'll do for French locomotives. Okay, right, cheerio, and see you next time. I'm really going this time. Ciao, ciao.